These fixed stars are Rigel and Bellatrix, and they are part of the beautiful Orion constellation. That being said, going into Greek mythology here, now you know that I'm very much into Greek mythology, and so are you. I think there's significance in this. Orion, he was a warrior, and he even was, a hunter and warrior, and hunted alongside Artemis, also known as Diana. She's like the renowned female huntress. And in some versions of the myth, he got a little too cocky, a little too in his head, like that Aries energy. Aries rules the head. Too much in his ego, and he's like, basically, I can hunt every animal on this earth. And the earth heard him. Gaia, she did not like that. So she sent a scorpion after him, which ended up poisoning him. So when he died, Zeus had placed him in the stars, making the Orion constellation, with Scorpius constellation, the scorpion, looking to always be chasing after him on opposite ends of the sky.
Oh, there you
But
go.
here's a good visual for you guys to see. So I feel this is a significant story, as this kind of gives us a reality check. We have to kind of humble ourselves here, have to be careful as to not get burned by our own fires we light, so to speak. And how do we stand up for ourselves, though, without causing more problems or issues? So
One thing I do know is that Beetlejuice is dying. And
oh,
so what that means is the light that's going to come affect us at some point. They don't really know when exactly,
mm,
but when it comes in, yeah, Beetlejuice is in the armpit of the warrior.
yeah, he's over
Right
here. And
there.
then with
And,
Bellatrix and Rigel
yeah,
is here.
but Beetlejuice is when that light comes through, we may have just our skies may be lighter all the time.
Mm,
Robert Edward Grant is a
oh,
wonderful one to follow. That is an amazing astrologer and just an extraordinary individual. And um, and he talks about it. He has actually a video on that, and I thought it was
that's
fascinating. But
interesting.
they really don't know when. You can't really tell when it's going to happen. You know, will it happen in our lifetime? I really don't know, but it would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, that sounds amazing if, yeah, the sky
Yes.
would
I
be
mean, the
lighter.
amount of light that would come in, could
Mm,
that help to awaken enough people?
that's
One
really
thing,
interesting.
just really quick, and then I'll give it back to you, but
Sure.
everything is being affected by Pluto and Aquarius.
Yes.
And this one had an orb, a tight orb of 0.09 and in Aquarius, and very, very tight. So yeah, you probably have it up here somewhere. Yes, but it is affecting everything. And we don't know how it's going to affect everything because
Mm.
248 years ago was the last time it was in Aquarius. And back then there was revolutions, there was push for change. So we can only assume it would be the same, but we really, really don't know. So
But yeah, just to wrap up my point, and then we'll discuss a little bit more about it. We have to be reminded of the story of Orion, as to not get too carried away in our ego or our head,
mhm,
and to learn our lessons and figure out a new path forward.
yes, lead
What
with
could
our
you
hearts.
say?
The
Yeah,
heart,
yeah, with our
lead with our
hearts.
hearts, heart to heart.
Yes, heart's a heart, perfect. So, yeah, let's find. I put also sensible empowerment in a
Mm,
way. How do we empower ourselves? So, do you
love
have
that.
anything to add on to what I shared about?
That's a good way to put it. Sensible empowerment that
Mhm.
blends Aries and Libra. So we're trying
Yes.
to find the best of both.
Mhm.
And in astrology, no matter what, when you get a personal report from Adriana or myself, we're looking for that. We're looking at what are the highest qualities of a house that you have a sign in, et cetera,
Mhm.
planets in. And how can you combine these things and bring them into your life and find the balance? We don't want to be overly selfless. We don't want to be overly selfish. So in the middle, That's the goal.
Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
types of healing. It's balance. It truly is. That's the theme for the year, really is balance.
Yeah.
But we were
Mm.
speaking a little bit earlier about when you brought up Orion as well. It's interesting because I see Orion, well, from my guidance from many, many, many years ago, that Orion is kind of the as above to Earth. We are the as below version of this melting pot here on Earth, of working out things in 3D, that we are the actors kind of playing out what may have happened. And what can happen, it's not the best thing, but we could be the negative, what they call the negative contextual field of from the future. So Orion, say, here's an example people could relate to, maybe Star Wars and
Mhm.
Star Trek, especially the
Yeah.
TV shows.
Star Wars fan.
Generation,
Yep.
generation, I remember seeing them. They were like all these different beings hanging out in a space bar. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you got these huge reptilians and you have these little elves and all kinds of cool stuff. So, that's Hollywood to some extent, but could it be that in the future, way in the future, or we could look at it in the ancient past, we're a circle. So who's to say? Is it before or after? We can't
Mhm.
really tell.
Mhm.
Um, would it be that Orion may have healed much of the wounds at that level, especially at that higher frequency? And then we are still playing out some of the karmic patterns to finish that up that need to be
Mhm.
taken care of. So what does that mean exactly? So I see that we're considered very much like the guides that work with people. They feel like they're amazed at what we're doing, that we're in the body, that we're doing this work. So we're kind of the foot soldiers, so to speak, doing the tougher work to then send the vibration of healing. So when we have something happen and we have a great result, waves of that goes through our ancestry. And it doesn't just go
Mhm.
forward, it can go backward, it can go any direction. So maybe if we're in the middle, say we're in the middle, we could help our parents and our grandparents and our great great grandparents. And then we could help our future generations, our children and children's children, and forward. So whoever is in that position to do some major change in a pattern is going to be a pivotal point that's going to wave it out through the ancestry. So if every single one of us are doing that, you could see where there could be collective growth and collective
Mhm.
healing over time. So we're
Yeah.
like the foot soldiers. We are doing the tough work. We really are.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Go ahead, honey.
I was just going to add to that. I feel just from, just seeing things and my personal experience that a lot of us are starting to become more awakened to healing our ancestral lineage, or breaking generational curses, whatever you want to call them. I think a lot of us are becoming more awakened now in that. So I think it's yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that in your
More
work too. Yeah.
more so with as we go more forward with this Pluto and Aquarius, it's going to really
Yes.
push
Yes.
us forward quicker because we've got that air sign, Pluto and Aquarius with that air sign, and then pushing all this fire that's here this year. We have a
Yep.
lot of fire and air, so that's just going to make a bigger fire, of
Yeah.
moving
Waving the
us forward.
flames.
So, but I love both of us are saying the same thing, that we have to also be careful to not overdo,
Yes.
not push ourselves to the point of
Yes.
exhaustion. I hear a lot of people saying how exhausted they are. I don't think they're addressing self-care. That is so important. Taking time for a nice little cup of tea with a great here,
Yeah.
something you enjoy, and just
Mhm.
slowing down a little bit, slowing down with
Yeah.
meditation, walks in nature,
Mhm.
connection with your loved one. If you're having a difficult time with partnership or marriage or relationship, get out in nature together. Very, very healing.